Greetings. I am Tatum Alexis Michael Primus, a senior at Benjamin Banneker Academic High School and a 13-year tennis, education, and cultural arts scholar here at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. I'm also one of your newly sworn-in youth mayors of Washington, D.C. Thank you. And I have the pleasure of emceeing this wonderful, wonderful night. I have been a scholar at the center for almost all of my life, and I'm eternally grateful for all that the center has done for me. I've met so many influential people, been in so many amazing spaces, and have grown both intellectually and personally. I can confidently say that every single person that I've come in contact with at the Tennis Center has benefited my life for the better. Whether it was from my enriching conversations with Ms. T, who has always supported me and come to me with any and all opportunities that she thought I could benefit from, my 6+ years with Ms. Janice, who taught me not only how to sew, but also taught me how to be a businesswoman, teaching me the importance of knowing how to sell my goods to make a profit. All of my tennis coaches over the years teaching me the art of tennis, the countless hours spent with Ms. Sheba, Ms. Wilma, and other staff members rehearsing for the Blacks and Wax production, or Mrs. Cora Masters-Berry putting me in the best situations to succeed. I can say that everyone at the center has greatly impacted my life. Because of the love and support that I've received from the staff here over the years, along with the support from my family, I'm proud to say that I've been accepted to over 15 colleges and universities, receiving over $700,000 in merit money so far. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Now let's get into the ceremony. It is an honor to introduce to you the esteemed mayor of Washington, D.C., a woman whose strength, dedication, and unwavering commitment to justice continues to not only inspire myself, but so many others. As a youth mayor, I've had the privilege of studying government and learning about leadership. And I can confidently say that Mayor Bowser has been a powerful source of inspiration for me and countless young people in our city. I first encountered her leadership here at Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, where many trailblazers and change makers walked through the halls. One particular time, though, it was different. I studied her in preparation for Blacks and Wax, which is a production where we portray historical African Americans on stage at the Kennedy Center. It was right before the pandemic. I was so excited that, like other scholars, I would finally get the chance to meet the person that I portrayed. Well, COVID happened, and the nation shut down along with my chance to perform for the mayor. Little did I know, God had another plan for me. Just 2 weeks ago, I spoke in my first official role of youth mayor of the District of Columbia, and I was introduced by none other than Mayor herself. And today I stand before you, Mayor Bowser, to return the favor. Mayor Bowser has continuously shown her strength by standing up for the people of Washington, D.C., whether it's advocating for equity, fighting for the rights of the underserved, or challenging systems that try to hold our city back. She doesn't just talk about change, she fights for it. And she does it with grace, intelligence, and a fierce resolve. Her leadership is a testament to the power of resilience and compassion. And as a young person looking up to her, I can say with certainty that her work will continue to shape Washington, D.C. for generations to come. So please join me in welcoming the Mayor of Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Thank you. Give it up for the youth mayor. And what Tatum did not mention is that following her remarks at the Marion S. Berry building, no less than 5 people said to me, you better look out for Tatum because she's on your heels. And I would have to agree with that. I think she is an incredibly poised young person in our city. And she is representative of so many of our young people doing the right thing, being committed, being a participant in the Southeast Tennessee Learning Center and Blacks and Wax and the Marion Barry Youth Development Programs has really well prepared her to go out as an ambassador for Washington, D.C. at whatever university you decide to attend. I am really happy to be here in the sports capital and to be talking about youth tennis in the sports capital. And it's my pleasure to be here to talk about the expansion of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. So I want to acknowledge the founder and visionary for the recreation wish list in the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, Cora Masters-Berry. Please give her a big round of applause. We know how important your passion for children and tennis and learning is. And I have these really great remarks to give, but instead, I'm going to just tell you a little story. Cora has invited me to a read-along every summer, I think, that I've been in office, where we gather in this room and the children who are participating in the summer program read a book. And so this year I was invited to the read along again. And I came and the children read a book. They acted out the book. They created the scene related to the book. They made the costumes related to the book. And the children did this. This was on a Friday. They had come to the program on a Monday. And by Friday, they had made this really, I have to say, the level of the production was not just worthy for the small group that had assembled, but could have been presented to really big audiences anywhere. I said to myself then, these children are simply amazing. And the work that's happening here is simply amazing. Now, there's the better part to the story, and I think the part that Cora really likes. In that same week, my 6-year-old daughter was in a theater program at a school in camp to be unnamed, but it cost me a lot of money. And in that week that she was taking theater, she learned to be a snake. And so I said to Cora, she won't be going back to that program to learn to be a snake. I'd rather her be learning production and talking about historical figures and present day figures in the context of the world that we live in. So that's what happens here at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. Certainly tennis, but children are surrounded by adults who care about them, who know how important their history is for how they develop and the leaders that they will become. So I've just always been very, honored to be associated with the work that happens here. Now, there is a lot of tennis. Cora and I'm glad to see that USTA is represented here. Give our USTA representatives a big round of applause. Cora and I went up to the U.S. Open, also where our children, before the Open, get to experience what world-class tennis is like, but also get to go to New York City and see other great cities in our nation, and we know how important that is. I don't quite remember when I was, informed that we would be building a expansion to the center. But I will say that it was early on in my tenure. And Cora had the long view with my council colleagues and our DPR representatives that we would be growing, and we had to think about growth in 2015. To think about it in 2024 would be too late. So we began developing plans. We put money in our budget. We protected those dollars in our budget so that we could be here today. So what the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center is a destination for great youth programming. It's certainly for the children of this neighborhood, but it's for the children of all 8 wards. And I know Thini and I agree that when we put together quality programming, we compete shoulder to shoulder, head to head with suburban programs in this region. And oftentimes we are beating them. And Jack will remember, Councilmember Evans is here, and Michael will remember this too, former City Administrator Rogers, and I remember it, and people of my vintage remember, when we grew up in a city where we didn't go to our fields and playgrounds and tennis courts. We went out of town. Now, our children are growing up in a city where the people from out of town are trying to get our courts and fields and pools. And that happened because DC taxpayers really made the commitment that our schools and our parks and recs facilities would be second to none. And I have been proud to continue with those investments and work hand in hand with our agencies, but also with our partners. The government can do a lot. You've heard me say that before, but when we have great nonprofits who are effective at what they do and the strategies are proven effective, we really like to partner with organizations like that. So I am pleased to be here for the ceremonial groundbreaking, and I'm glad that we're not actually in the monsoon that is outside. And I want to thank everybody for your continued support of our children, of the recreation wish list, and this wonderful center that's soon to become even more wonderful. So now I just wanted to introduce 2 outstanding members of my team who have done excellent work in all kinds of varieties in my administration. But the DPR director is Thini Freeman, and she will be followed by the DGS director, and DGS is our construction place, Delano Hunter. Thini.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you so much. And to distinguished guests, first of all, Tatum. Yes, ma'am. Isn't she awesome? Give it up for Tatum again. It's always important that we affirm our youth in spaces because they could be so many other places. As you heard, Madam Mayor mentioned that there's a monsoon happening outside, and originally we were supposed to be outside. And when you think about many tennis tournaments and all the things, oftentimes they happen outside. But isn't it beautiful when you can bring it indoors? And that is what this expansion represents. It represents the magnanimous opportunity to serve, pun intended, inside and out regardless of the weather. So as we gather here today, not just to break ground on a physical expansion, but to celebrate the growth of a vision that has touched and transformed many lives in our community. And we thank you for your vision over 25 years ago, Ms. Mastersberry. The Southeast Tennis and Learning Center is an experiential learning facility. As you heard Madam Mayor speak about how youth bring books to life, they bring characters to life, and they demonstrate life on the tennis courts. Because of course, it's not just about sports, but there is life learning components when you think about sports. We teach our young children about resilience. We teach them how to grow and develop personally and interpersonally. And this expansion represents all of that, not just the bricks and mortar that you will hear Director Hunter talk about. It symbolizes our commitment to empowering our youth through dual pillars of education and sports. By expanding our facilities, we are creating a welcoming environment where students can learn the game of tennis, develop essential life skills, and discover their potential on and off the court. As we look ahead, we envision a place where young people can not only excel in tennis, but can cultivate critical academic skills, build lasting friendships, and foster a sense of belonging. This expansion will allow us to increase our programs. You've heard about Blacks in Wax and other programs. We have the Tiny Tots program, and we have other programs that we're excited to bring aboard. So let today serve as a reminder that together we can achieve remarkable things. Let's inspire our youth to dream big, serve high, and slam every challenge with tenacity and courage. You like that, right? So as we go out and think about how we create spaces for young people to find inspiration, discipline, and a sense of belonging, I want to thank the staff here. Thank you, Latita. Thank you, Devon. Thank you to all the coaches and the team who create this loving and warm, welcoming space for the community and the city. Here's to the future, to the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, a future filled with opportunities, achievements, and the joy of tennis. Thank you all for being a part of this journey, and I'll turn it over to my colleague, Director Hunter.
Good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Delano Hunter again, and I'm proud to serve as the director of the DC Department of General Services, and we're so happy to be here. This project represents one of 376 active capital projects that are happening across the district, and they range from a boiler replacement to down the road to Cedar Hill Regional Medical Center, which will be our largest capital project. And in fact, wards 7 and 8, Ward 8 in particular, leads the city in capital investment, and that's because of the vision of our mayor, Muriel Bowser. So thank you so much. I'm really excited. I want to really use my time to tell you a bit about this project. If you look to my left and right and behind me, what you see is a 30,000 square foot expansion. We'll grow the number of tennis courts from 12 to 19. We'll grow the number of pickleball courts. Can I say that out loud? From one to 5. This will be, we'll connect both sides of the campus through a connector bridge. And I'm really excited. This will be a net zero facility, right? So it underscores the mayor's commitment to environmental stewardship. So this is a great program, and I want to thank the folks that helped make today possible. First and foremost, in addition to our mayor, I want to thank Cora Masters-Berry. I have learned never to underestimate Mrs. Berry. When she says something will happen, it will happen. I think what you see today is really a combination of the tenacity of Cora Masters-Berry and also the commitment and leadership of our mayor. That's how these projects come into fruition. So thank you all both. Also want to thank our stakeholders from the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. I think the ANC commissioners here, their board members, their community members, their neighbors, the USTA. This is truly a team effort. Just to get to this point, a lot of planning and design. We've had to navigate the alphabets, agencies, regulatory. We had to call in Mrs. Berry to speak before the Commission on Fine Arts to get things moving on the federal side. But the end result of what you see is a well thought out project. Lastly, I want to thank the DGS team and our partners that will deliver this project on time and on budget over the next 16 to 20 months. I want to thank, if you could just raise your hand, I want to thank Osei Headley, our operations manager, Andy Baer, and Mike Etherton. All right, I also want to thank our design team, MTFA Design and Preservation. I want to thank our general contractor, GCS Siegel, and the amazing team that will deliver this project again on time and on budget with CBE participation in just a short while. All right, so that concludes my remarks. I believe Tatum will introduce Mr. Brian Valhaley. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Director Thiene and Director Delano. I would now like to introduce to you the next president of the United States Tennis Association. Beginning his 2-year term on January 1st, 2025, Brian Valhaley will be the first LGBTQ plus member to serve as the USTA president and the youngest chairman of any Grand Slam. Mr. Valhaley played tennis for the University of Virginia from 1997 to 2001, where he was the ACC Rookie of the Year and became UVA's first tennis All-American in 1999. He is also the first and only ATP player to come out as LGBTQ+, yet another trailblazer and changemaker to walk the halls of Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. Ladies and gentlemen, the incumbent president of the United States Tennis Association, Brian Behaley.
Quite a nice introduction. Thank you. It's very nice. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by expressing my gratitude to Mayor Bowser for your advocacy and unwavering support for tennis in D.C. Your leadership has been instrumental in advancing opportunities for this community. I would also like to thank the exceptional Cora Masters-Berry, whose vision and dedication have inspired me since the day we met a decade ago. From the moment I walked into this facility, I knew that I had to get involved. Thank you as well to the Department of Parks and Recreation Director, Thene Freeman, and the Department of General Services Director, Delano Hunter. And lastly, I want to thank all of you who are here today and for the tennis advocates as part of this community. As President-elect of the United States Tennis Association and as a former D.C. resident now living across the river, and as a former board member of the Recreation Wish List Committee, which founded the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, I am beyond thrilled to celebrate this historic milestone, the expansion of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. This project represents a significant step forward in our efforts to grow tennis at all levels, especially among our youth. For years, the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center has been a shining example of the transformative power of tennis. Beyond the court, it has served as a hub where young people learn discipline, teamwork, and the values that will serve them throughout their lives. It has been a place where dreams take shape, whether in athletic achievement, academic success, or personal growth. At the USTA, our mission is to grow tennis to inspire healthier people and communities everywhere. We believe that tennis is strongest when our communities are healthy. And let me emphasize that tennis is the world's healthiest sport, a statement that is supported by research and data. For decades, tennis has proven to be a fun and effective way to keep our country active. This connection between the health of our sport and the health of communities reinforces why projects like the SETLC expansion are so vital, not just to us, but to the communities they serve. Many players, myself included, got their start at a local park or recreational facility. I was 4 years old when my parents introduced me to tennis at a park. This personal experience underscores why the USTA is so committed to investing in tennis facilities nationwide. Beginning in 2025, the USTA will invest over $10 million annually to renovate existing public courts and constructing new ones. By closely collaborating with local governments and organizations, we aim to integrate tennis facilities into community planning, ensuring the sport's sustainability for generations to come. These investments are already yielding results. Over the last 5 years alone, tennis participation in the United States has grown by over 30%. By enhancing accessibility and emphasizing the importance of facilities like the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, we are not only ensuring the sport's growth, but also creating opportunities for future champions to thrive. Southeast Tennis and Learning Center South will elevate tennis in our region while contributing to the global tennis landscape by attracting top-tier junior players and providing them opportunities to experience world-class competition. I have no doubt that future U.S. Open champions will one day emerge from these courts. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge again the extraordinary contributions of Cora Masters-Berry. Her leadership has shaped the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center into a world-class facility, recognized by the USTA with numerous awards, including the 2005 Youth Tennis and Learning Facility Award, the 2010 USTA Mid-Atlantic Outstanding Facility Award, the 2014 USTA Mid-Atlantic President's Award, the 2016 USTA NJTL Founders Service Award, and the USTA 2018 Large Public Court Tennis Facility of the Year Award. At the USTA, we are extremely proud of our partnership with this outstanding organization and look forward to the positive impact this expanded facility will have on athletes, fans, and the entire tennis community. Before I conclude, I want to introduce someone else from the USTA whose advocacy and leadership has been instrumental in advancing the values of tennis and community. Tara Fitzpatrick Navarro, CEO of the USTA Mid-Atlantic Foundation, is a true champion for the mission we celebrate today. Her passion for the sport and its ability to change lives is unparalleled. Tara, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Brian, for your kind introduction, but also for your steadfast commitment to making sure that tennis is accessible to everyone. Good afternoon again. I would be remiss if I did not stand here and express my own gratitude for the leaders and visionaries who have made this day possible. Mayor Bowser, Ms. Cora Masters-Berry, Department of Parks and Recreation Director Athene Freeman, Director of General Services Director Delano Hunter, and of course the entire USTA family, including Mr. Blackman, former General Manager of USTA National Player Development. Of course, I have known now Ms. Cora Masters-Berry for the 10 years that I have been here, and she has been a steadfast supporter who has had a vision to guide tennis and the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center to this, but I also believe much farther beyond. It is an honor to stand with you today, Ms. Berry, at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center expansion. This is a monumental step forward, and not just for Southeast DC, but for the entire tennis community. USTA Mid-Atlantic, we are so proud to have supported the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center for many years. In fact, SETLC's very first award, as you heard, was from USTA Mid-Atlantic, and I understand they're lobbying hard to make sure that this expansion wins another one, right? The Southeast Tennis and Learning Center has long been a place for growth, opportunity, and inspiration. Since its inception, it's positively impacted over 75,000 youth, creating a safe space to develop tennis skills, foster character, and embrace the life-changing lessons that come with the game. This expansion is more than the addition of new courts and facilities. It's an investment in the future, and it's a testament to the power of collaboration. USTA, local leaders, and all of the community partners who support SETLC. Tennis in the Mid-Atlantic has never been stronger. This milestone is proof of our shared commitment to growing the game at every level, and I'd like to thank and congratulate Ms. Berry and everyone who's played a role in bringing this vision to life.
Thank you so much to our USTA representatives. I would now like to bring to the stage a remarkable woman who has played a pivotal role in shaping my life. Through her unwavering commitment to empowering youth, she has opened doors that many of us could only dream of. From the very beginning, this woman saw potential in me, even when I didn't see it in myself. She didn't just give me opportunities, she created them, nurturing my talents and encouraging me to step outside my comfort zone constantly. Her impact is felt far beyond the opportunities she provides. It's in the confidence she instills, the hope she ignites, and the belief that she instills in us to keep pushing forward and be the best versions of ourselves. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the forever First Lady of Washington, D.C., Mrs. Cora Masters-Berry.
Well, good evening. I said good afternoon. Good evening. And I'm not going to say the part that says despite the weather. So I'm going to get to this part to say this is truly a glorious day. Thank you all for coming out. I very seldom make speeches. I usually take my opportunity to acknowledge people who have done so much. Mayor Bowser, I know I get on your nerves. I do. But we would not be here today if it were not for her. She said very early in her term, I said, come to my house for breakfast. And I burned her eggs. And we ended up having coffee and fruit. And I talked about the vision. And here we are. And it wasn't easy. She supported it. And then when COVID hit and the money that we had allotted initially was not enough for anything, then she reallocated it. And then when someone tried to take it, then she found it and gave it back to us. So it hasn't been an easy street. But beyond that, yes, she comes to the read alouds, but she supports everything these children do. And I'm so glad we're going to have Miranda next year so she can know about more than just being a snake. You know, that tickled me, didn't you? Brian, welcome back. He was on our foundation years and years ago. It is so good to have you head up the United States Tennis Association. I've known a lot of chairs since the Tennis Association. Well, of course, my favorite is going to be Katrina. But to have a homeboy, have somebody from the area, let's give him a hand. Tara, we go way back. When I was just getting my sea legs in tennis, it was the Mid-Atlantic that acknowledged us. I have a picture right now in my office, my favorite picture. I was looking at it today, said, I wish my hair looked like that then. But they acknowledged us, and that's where I met Mark Ide, was at that event. Tatum, y'all don't know. Sitting probably right around in that area doing blacks and wax practice, she hated me. I pushed her. She cried. She wouldn't come. And then one day she just showed up and it was over. She's amazing. Give her another hand. And I know you're going to do great. And she's not just an actress, but she's a tennis player. She plays tennis. I have here also the board of the Recreation Wish List Committee, our chair, J.R. Clark, would you please stand? And all the members of the board, would you please stand? Every member, past and present. So Scott, then you can stand too. We'll talk about him a little later. Thank you all. Finny. Now she says I'm mispronouncing it. Did I say it right? Oh, God. Feeny. Feeny. I love her. It's wonderful to have a young, vibrant, creative, visionary, strong, persistent, consistent woman running the, no disrespect, Delano. Woman running the Department of Parks and Recs. It's been wonderful. Give her a hand. She sees things other people don't see. I'm really impressed with her vision. Vision is everything to me. And then a person who gets very little recognition, but who does most of the work. John Stokes. I talk to John all the time. John gets in the weeds. He does the details. He's amazing. And also Michael Tucker, Ramon Bain did the press. I want to thank you guys. And I don't know, is Reggie Van Lee still here? Reggie Van Lee had a very important call because he's a very important person. But I met him, it's a long story. And I said to him, I had a breakfast with him. And, you know, when you have breakfast with people say you're powerful and have money, you got your little spiel that you're getting ready. So we had breakfast. We were at the Mayflower, and I enjoyed the bacon. It was hickory smoke. I don't know why I remember that. And so at some point after we got through with the small talk, he said, and so what do you want from me? And I said, I don't want any money from you. I said, what I want you to do, if you're interested, is to, and we said it at the same time, invest in us. And I said, and if you find that that's not worthy of your investment, then give me some money and go on about your business. He stopped by to see me one night, and it happened to be the night that the Blacks and Wax was practicing in the hallway in the museum. You've all seen that. And he walked with me, and he said, come on, let's go back to your office. He said, this is the best kept secret in town. How much you want? Ain't nobody ever asked me that. I was thinking $1 million, 100,000. I didn't know what to say. I said, 25,000. And his friend said, that's all. That's all I could come up with. From that to today, for the last 16 years, we've been at the Kennedy Center, thanks to Reggie Van Lee. So I just wanted, I'm a historian. And before I get to the part that I just want to spend about 3 minutes to tell you, because I believe in conceptual frameworks, you can say whatever you want to say about me, and it happens all. People say I'm, second coming, I'm next to Jesus, all that stuff you say. I don't do the work. I just had a vision. The people who do the work are the staff that runs the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. I'm telling you, Latita Falk, she's my voice. She does the work. All of these great things we do, Mayor, read-alouds, all those things, those are major, complicated things. This is not a recreation center. This is a specialty center that has programs that are scheduled and staff that teach kids and do their homework. And when they finish doing that, doing all of that, then they go play tennis, or they do exercise, or they travel. This is a complicated center to run. It's very difficult because there's a lot of moving parts. And then, of course, you got me. So, that's almost your worst nightmare. And so I want to, well, I'm just being honest. You all say it behind my back. So I want to thank you, Latita, for just hanging in there. She has been with this center. Her kids grew up here. Matter of fact, I don't even give her that credit. Her mother brought her two sons here, Dre and Nye. And she said, I want them to be here. And at some point down through the years, Latita showed up. And she did this and she did that. And the next thing you know, she's running it. I want to thank you so much for that. My staff, where's Kayla? Kayla, thank you. Where's Kayla? I fuss at her every day. She's used to it now. You know when you lose your power, when you're saying horrible things to people and they're just looking at you laughing? You got to come up with something else. That's Kayla. Frida, thank you for the midnight calls. And Sheba, we don't do anything without you. Where's Sheba? There she is. That's our magic. So, just for a couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you a few key dates leading up to the day so you can fully appreciate our journey. In 1995, my husband became mayor for the 4th time. He asked me to lead his inaugural. I did. Raised a lot of money. Really a lot of money. People were giving more money to the inaugural than they were giving to the transition. And I was like, I'm not spending all this money on a party. So I saved a couple of $100,000 and invited Betty Jo Gaines to come over and bring me her wish list for the recreation department, because it was my favorite department because it saved kids' lives. And from that, we did things all over the city. And then one day, I was riding down the street. Now, if Marion was here, he would tell you his version of the story, but Marion takes credit for everything people do. He don't give you you say so-and-so, Marion said, I think that's a great idea, and I did it. So he says that he was right. We were riding across the street, and he said, that looks like a place to build a tennis center. And I said, it does, doesn't it, husband? So that's his version. So long story, it's just true. It's not really what happened, but okay, I'm going with that. He said it so much. And he said it in front of me, so okay. So in 1995, I formed the Recreation Wish List Committee, and we did a lot of things for the Recreation Department. And based on that vision of Marion's, we decided to kick out a capital campaign and raise however many million dollars. I don't know where that price came from. He did designate that if I could raise the money, this land, we could use it to build a center on. I built 6 courts. That's all. Wasn't trying to build a center, just 6 courts. And I would come every morning, and the kids would play. And then I would watch the kids, and when they didn't like something, one kid had big ears. It's important. The other kid would go like this. And I was like, listen, you don't do that on the tennis court. That's not how you play tennis. So I would talk to the coach, Willis Thomas from WTEF. And I said, Mr. Thomas, why are you letting the kids do that? And he said, Miss Barry, if I kick them off, where would they go? And that's when I got that inspiration from God to build a building, so I could get my friends to come over and volunteer. I was just talking about a couple of trailers. Give a hand to God. In 1997, Mayor Tony Williams, that's right, saw the vision, pardoned it. Hillary Clinton came over. There's a picture somewhere of us unveiling a sign that says, I laugh because I didn't have a dime, future site of the Southeast Tennessee Learning Center. That was in 1997. In 2001, we laid a cornerstone, and in 2001, we opened up this facility that you see right here today. And it was a success. And then Mayor Gray came along, and there was some bubbles that were falling apart. It was a terrible model, and we renovated it for $18 million. But my dream had always been, now this is where reality comes in, people. I've been all over the world, Isha can tell you, in tennis, because I am a tennis person, but I was also very, very much a part of the Williams family. And my dream was everywhere I went, the kids from all over the world would play in these elaborate places, but no place in a community like ours. And I'm like, why can't we have an international tennis tournament in Ward 8, in Southeast Washington, in the hood, if you may? And so my vision was to go with the USTA, who has worked with us consistently. They have given us, thank you, Marty. Thank you so much, Marty Blackman, head of player development. Give him a hand. They would give us free advice. I mean, you know, they were consultants, but they didn't charge us. But they're very expensive because they don't charge you, but they tell you that you can build this indoor court. But if you want to be qualified to have an international tournament, it's got to have so many feet from here and so many feet from there and so much kind of lighting. That costs us $2 million extra. Thank you very much for that. So we ran out of money. So I still had the dream to have the South Campus. And here we are today. Was that too long? I just want you to know it's been a long journey. It started, and over here, that was the ribbon cutting of the first center. That's Mayor Williams, that's me, that's Venus, Serena Venus, and of course, the president of the Recreation Wish List Committee, Scott Bolden. Thank you so much. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Oh, they have dirt in these pots. Okay. So we're about to break ground. John Stokes is going to come up and give everybody instructions. And I love everybody, and I'm so excited. Thank you.